What do you think of the Menendez brothers? Are they guilty for killing their parents?
I don't think they're guilty because they were visually abused their whole life, and I think it was self-defense.
Okay, so you don't think they just wanted the money? Insight on what you think of the Menendez brothers?
I think it was unfair what they got for punishment. I mean, they were abused their whole lives and they finally snapped. So, I mean, it was coming.
So you think it was they wanted revenge on their parents because of the abuse?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, Crime Thoughts. Today we're going to be discussing the debated part of the Menendez brothers case.
So, as you heard earlier, a lot of people have different opinions about the Menendez brothers. Those interviews were quite interesting. Thank you, Lupe, for getting them.
You're welcome.
And then, can you tell us a little bit more about, the people? Did they have any background information on them? Or did most of the people you asked not know?
Most of them did not know. They just knew certain stuff,
From TikTok.
And, other things. But other than that, they didn't really know about the case. Mostly what they heard about it. That's what they were telling me.
Which I think is so weird because I heard about this case years ago and I just, my mind blew. How would you... I don't know. What have you guys done if you were in their shoes? What would you have done if you were being abused for years and years and years and you finally just snapped?
Well, if I could leave, I would have left. But, of course, there was money and stuff involved, so I probably would have done the same thing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't kill my parents. Because
Good one, Lucas.
Because I kind of want to stay out of jail, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But at the same time, I can always get them back probably legally.
Yeah. But also another thing that we have to think about for the Menendez brothers was their dad was in organized crime.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as easy as going to the police and telling them or reporting them because he would have done anything to protect his reputation, which I'm not trying to justify death. Don't come at me. I'm not trying to say that it was okay. You could have handled it differently, obviously, but it's not completely out of context for them. It's not unjustifiable, you know? It's not like they just randomly one day it's I'm gonna kill my parents and I'm gonna like it. They just felt like they had no way out. And they didn't really have anybody because if you were to listen to the tapes of what happened, they didn't tell anybody. They wouldn't tell anybody because they were embarrassed. And that's what happens with a lot of people who have been sexually violated is they feel like it's their fault and it makes them disgusting that it happened to them when they're a victim. They couldn't have done anything. That's like saying, I got stabbed, but I'm a bad person, you know? You can't really...
Sorry, I got stabbed.
My bad, guys. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But you can't blame yourself, you know?
Yeah.
But they definitely did something wrong, but it's crazy. I was reading about this one case. Her name was Betty something. Sorry, I don't have it pulled up, but she killed her ex-husband and his new wife point blank in the head while they were sleeping, and she only got 12 years.
You just killed your husband, but you know what?
I would kill someone if I only got 12 years. What the heck?
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I would not kill anybody. I'm kidding. But, that's just not, it's not fair.
Well, to be honest, kind of in the court of law, women kind of have a good, ticket. Be oh, all right, you drowned your child, you get 4 years. You know what I mean?
That is true.
That's bold, too.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, that's bold because we are crazy.
Yeah.
We should be treated like crazy people. We shouldn't be getting a easy pass because we're women. Because we can have just as violent tendencies as men.
All right, come on now. You just drowned your 4-year-old kid in the
Oh, not again, Susie.
I actually saw a video on TikTok yesterday, and this mother, she killed 3 of her children, and they blamed it on her postpartum depression and stuff. And I was
but if you see a dad do that,
then
he'll
be
he's horrible. He'll get killed in jail instantly, no doubt. But I bet that girl got 5 years and then a little bit of a mental ward.
It barely happened a few days ago, so they still processing her.
A few days ago?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, that's fresh.
It's pretty. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, so I don't know.
That's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
A few days ago. Okay, let's get back on topic. We kind of did a little bit of a tangent there, but that's okay. One more thing I wanted to get into about the murders and everything is how they got caught, which is really interesting because I don't think a lot of people know this part, but Lyle was going to a psychiatrist, and he just point blank said, hey, I killed my parents with my brother. And you know, like the doctor-patient confidentiality thing goes out of the door as soon as they admit, like, violence upon a person or themselves, right? That's not what the psychiatrist did. He kept seeing them the whole time they were out, which it took 6 months for them to be caught, right? He knew the whole time, and he was recording it, and he was trying to impress his mistress who worked with him, his receptionist. How cliche, right? Like, stupid. But he kept it, and I don't really know if he was trying to keep it as, like, blackmail or, like, as a trophy, like, look.
A psychiatrist?
Yeah. Was he trying to keep it as, like, as soon as they got the money that they inherited from their dad, he was going to try to blackmail them, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what was going on. It was money-driven, but her mistress was, like, fed up. She's like, no, we're not doing that today, and she turned him in.
Yeah.
And then he got charged, obviously. But, like, that's so crazy how they could have been put away a long time ago.
Yeah, but he still kept them, like, in secret.
And just think, it could have made their case so much stronger if they were put away sooner, because they wouldn't have had that much money. So they wouldn't have been like, it was for greed, because they spent $700,000 in 6 months. Like, that's insane. But yeah, that's what pretty much the whole side was it for them, was they're greedy. They just wanted the money. It was not self-defense. They didn't get abused. That's all made up.
Yeah.
Which is not true. I don't think that's true. I think they were abused. I don't think you can lie about that. It shows so much emotion that they had on the tapes. I don't think that's true.
Well, I feel like it also goes back, like, when people saw that they were stealing from their friends.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of added to like why people were saying that they just wanted the money.
And you also have to think, they had to act out to get attention. Because their dad, they just wanted him to be perfect. So in order to get the attention, they would act out. And you see that in a lot of adolescent kids who don't have, like, loving parents, is they tend to go towards the criminal side of what they
strive to go for attention.
Yeah.
Because they're
no matter what it
deprived.
is. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what they were doing. And since they didn't really have a thought about money, they just did whatever they wanted, and that's why it was so much money. Okay, one more thing. I know I keep saying that.
You know what we should actually talk about is the court cases. Like, the first court case, they're able to talk about their abuse.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was literally just going to say that. Wow, powers. Yeah, so their first case, they really went into it, not guilty obviously, but they talked a lot about the abuse. They went into really good detail about it. And when it was time for the jury to make a decision, they were split. Like, nobody was budging. Half of them thought they were guilty, half of them thought they weren't. It was a mistrial. They called a mistrial, did another one. And just think, these trials lasted 2 years. So these 2 trials in total, they didn't end up getting charged till 3 years after they committed the crime. So it was a really, really long process. I can't even imagine having to talk about that kind of stuff in front of a bunch of people you don't know.
Especially on, like, the screen.
National television, yeah. It was very, very, like, it was national, so it was crazy. And the second trial, the judge limited the amount of sexual assault they could talk about. So they weren't really allowed to describe it or anything, which I thought took the emotion out of it, and I think that's what made it so that they were found guilty. Because they could go into description about the murders, but they couldn't go into description about the assaults and all the violence, which I don't think is very fair, but that's ridiculous.
I feel like that It's like cutting off the beginning of a story and only going towards the end.
Yeah,
At that
just
point.
telling the villain's side, you know? That's not fair to anyone. I mean, there should be justice no matter what.
Insight on the Menendez brothers of what you think that happened?
Literally, I just want to say I think they were abused and neglected because I think that no child is born this way. They're conditioned to be this way, and that just mentally and physically and emotionally just scars them. And I think that's the reason why they committed the acts that they did.
All right, so you think that they killed because like of the revenge of the abuse?
Definitely. And I think it was warranted for that way because I just put yourselves in their shoes. I mean,
Would you like to give us some insight on what you think about the Menendez brothers?
Oh, I think they're fine. Or they used to be fine. No, I don't know. I didn't really watch their case. I just saw the whole thing on like TikTok about how they were like trying to open up their case again.
Do you think they did it because they hated their parents or because they wanted the money?
I think they hated their parents.
Because of the abuse?
Yes, because like if I saw it on TikTok, obviously, how like he was crying while they were like asking him questions.
Obviously, they didn't deserve to die, but they should have, handled the situation better. Obviously, they shouldn't have treated their kids like that. Nobody should have kids.
Nobody should endure what they have endured.
Yeah, exactly. And having life in prison without parole, I think is a little bit too much,
And I feel like since they couldn't explain like what they actually went through,
it stripped them of the humanity, of the emotion, of why they did it. So they just explained what they did instead of why. Which kind of just made them sound like bad people who just did it insensitively, which is why a lot of people think they did it for greed.
Yeah. And the abuse was basically like the main point of like why they did it. So it goes back to like they couldn't really.
That affects a person a lot. That a lot of killers start off the world with being raped or violence or something like that. So for them,
Traumatic events after traumatic event after traumatic event.
It traumatizes someone.
Nobody is really born evil
It's,
unless you're made evil.
Yeah. It's the events that lead up to it that really make you who you are. And, okay. Let's talk about where they are now. So this is another thing that I just think the justice system really was, like, horrible on. They kept them apart for 20 years. And if you knew the Menendez brothers, they were super close. Like, they did everything together. They were, like, attached at the hip. So to separate them, they couldn't talk to each other.
I mean, they did kill their parents together too, so.
Bonding!
Bonding.
Hashtag.
But, they separated them for 20 years. But back a couple years ago, they were finally moved to the same jail. It's called Richard J. Donovan. It's located in San Diego, and they've been together now. It's so weird. They're both in committed marriages, too.
Yeah, and they got married in jail, right?
Yeah.
Like,
True
what?
love. True
Yeah.
love.
So Eric got married June of 1999 to Tammy. And then Lyle's been married twice, once to Rebecca, and they divorced in 2003. And then no. I have this mixed up. And they were divorced in 2001, so they were together from 1996 to 2001. And then Rebecca got married 2003, and they're still together. So they've had some pretty long relationships, especially to be in jail. Like, kind of jealous.
Relationship goals?
I know. So bad. Oh, that's so bad. Okay.
Well, I mean, what I gotta say is like at least they like got something going. Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
rotting in
Like-
prison, they have someone to talk to now.
They got that boo thing.
They got that bootang. They're committed. They're committed
Yeah.
in prison.
Literally.
You can't. That doesn't happen a lot.
And they're not dumb people by any means. Like, they were pretty good in school, and in the murders themselves, they tried to stage it as an organized crime hit. They shot their kneecaps and tried to make it look like a gang did it, which obviously didn't work out, but I mean, A for effort. Like,
They tried.
yeah, at least they didn't just leave it there and they're like, I don't know what happened.
Oh no.
Give me all their money.
They got shot.
When? And the audio recording for the 911 call is crazy. You guys can look it up. Literally just type in the Menendez brothers 911 call. It'll pop up. And it's Lyle just in tears, like crying so hard. Like, I've never heard a grown man cry that hard.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's-
true.
It's like very convincing.
Yeah, he's ugly crying. Not even like fake crying.
No, he's straight up like red face, nose, like snot coming out his nose, like hyperventilating. Like, no.
Yeah.
Which is another point a lot of people like to make is like maybe they are sociopaths because of the amount of pain that they showed, you know?
Yeah.
Did they really care? Like, was he actually crying or was he just setting up a front? Okay, guys, that's our time. I hope you guys liked it. We'll see you again on Crime Thoughts.
What do you guys think about the Menendez brothers or their case?
To be honest,
Are they still alive?
Yes, they are.
You need to free them. They did not do nothing wrong. Free my boys, Menendez brothers. Yeah, free them.
that's the mom's fault, to be honest with you. Like, just free them, dog. Like, they did nothing. Come on.
They're innocent.
We all know that. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
innocent.
they're being abused as kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Innocent.
All right, free the boys.